Personal AI assistants are just around the corner. They will be a thing, that one is for sure. Are we ready for what's coming, or will we be blind consumers and let the tech companies run our lives like they always do? At some point in the near future, telling someone I keep everything in my head will not sound impressive. It will sound like saying I do my taxes with a candle, a feather and ink. Because we are building a world where memory, planning, filtering, scheduling, navigation, and even parts of decision making live outside the skull. And this is usually sold as convenience. Your phone remembers the appointment, your calendar chooses the time, your notes preserve the idea, and your automation handles the boring steps, and so on. And it is convenient. It really is really convenient. I'm personally totally in love with it, and I do it almost obsessively. It's kind of wonderful. My biological RAM can finally stop running 50 apps at once, one of which is probably just running anxiety and being irritated as a background process, and I have no idea where that hides. But there is an unresolved question hiding underneath all that convenience. When your external brain becomes essential, are you actually more capable, or have you simply become dependent on the technology? Because I think cognitive offloading is about to become a basic form of literacy. The people who learn it will have an enormous advantage because they know what to remember, what to externalize, what to automate, and what should never be delegated. The problem will be that soon we will no longer just use a to-do list. There will be an AI agent managing our to-do list. With other words, it is very likely personal AI assistants will run our lives in the near future. First of all, this will have very bad consequences, but it will also be way too convenient and amazing to not go with it. We don't want to be the laggards staying behind while the world moves forward. At least I don't want to be. AI will run our personal lives. That is very likely. So it is important that we know how to run it ourselves first, so we actually know what is going on under the damn hood. Otherwise, they will have too much control over us. The term is cognitive offloading. It means using an action, an external object, or a tool to reduce the mental work required by a task. Writing a shopping list, that's cognitive offloading. Setting a reminder, that is cognitive offloading. So this is not some new AI behavior. Writing itself is an external memory system. Humans have always built tools that think with us, or at least help us think better or more reliable. What is changing is the depth of this relationship. The old tool always was waiting for a command. The new system watches context, predicts what matters, suggests the next move, and increasingly takes actions on our behalf. From tools we deliberately use to cognitive infrastructure we kind of continuously inhabit. For a long time, my life was basically chaos. My head was noisy, tasks floated around without clear priority. Ideas appeared and disappeared, even when I was not doing things. Part of my brain was trying to remember what I might be forgetting. That last part is especially stupid because at that point, you are not doing the task, you are not enjoying your free time, you are just running an unpaid anxiety service in the background because you're guilty, you're not doing things and forgetting what you have to do, or there was no single cinematic breakthrough or no dramatic Tuesday when I installed one app and suddenly became master of my life and got my shit together. The improvement was really gradual. I started trusting notes, I trusted reminders, I used to-do lists and checklists to separate, and then automation removed steps that did not deserve a human in the loop in the first place. Every reliable external system lowered the noise a little, and over time my baseline rose, I became happier and more productive. And this was not because my memory evolved, but because I stopped forcing my brain to do project management all on its own. The goal is always to remove open loops from your attention and make the right actions easier to see. So what will happen if AI runs my productivity systems for me? I already tried a few things. So, well, for me personally, I can say I probably will get anxious and uncertain again, because these systems are not deterministic. This is not a program that does X and then throws an error when it fails to do X. These things are probabilistic. So do we want to blindly trust these systems to run and organize our lives? Here's the distinction we have to make when talking about my original framing. General cognitive offloading will not become mainstream in the future. It basically is already mainstream, but only the normie version of it. Most people do not memorize phone numbers, they use contacts, they do not use a map, they use GPS, they do not hold every appointment in memory, they use calendars. Search engines change what we remember. Often we retain where the information can be found rather than the information itself. The future change is insanely different though. It will be a new paradigm. Today, most offloading is explicit. You decide what to write in the note or what tasks to create or how to ask or what to ask. You decide the question. Tomorrow, much more of it will be ambient. Wait until everybody gets their personal AI assistant. What do you think will happen? We can already see the direction. AI is being embedded across phones and computers and smart glasses. God help us all. My point is not whether every current demo works perfectly. Many do not. My point is that the interface is moving from open tool and operate it toward just telling AI and let it coordinate the tools. Once that becomes reliable enough, people who have never maintained a planner will still have a background process organizing parts of their lives. And that sounds cool, and it is really cool, and it's kind of cool until you ask who configured the background process. Right now, only a minority of people can build or choose systems that genuinely think with them. They know how to capture useful information and structure it, retrieve it, automate stuff, and audit what comes back. Let's call them cognitive architects, the engineers of their reality. But the phrase needs kind of warning label. These people are not high IQ or something. I don't mean that. They are just fluent in tool-assisted thinking. The person can look impossibly organized because their calendar, task managers, or notes form one coherent machine, but the same person, without it, they just return to monkey. Remove that machine and they are once again a mammal standing in a kitchen and wondering why they walked in. We all know that feeling. In the short term, that fluency remains an advantage. Early adopters know how to prompt, verify, override, and connect systems. Everyone else is more likely to accept whatever defaults arrive with the device. The tech companies just decide for the user is roughly what I mean. In the medium term, basic offloading will become invisible. Using external memory will feel no more remarkable than using a spell check. Then the divide changes. It is no longer between users and non-users. Almost everyone is a user. The divide is between people who understand the architecture of their extensions and the people who depend on those same extensions without even comprehending what the extensions actually are. Who knows what data feeds the system? What system is even used in the background, and who can move the information elsewhere, and who merely clicked allow until their entire life became a proprietary file format. That is why this video is basically a story about literacy. The people will probably be using an AI agent with 1 million plugins and systems connected running their whole life, but have no idea how everything connects. And I'm not even talking about how AI works. That's not the point here. I'm talking about the mechanisms with which people organize their lives already today. Offloading is not automatically good. A checklist remembers the procedure you choose. An AI assistant may propose the procedure, summarize the evidence, rank the options, and phrase the final decision so confidently that you forget to inspect the machinery. That is the dangerous form of offloading. Not the system remembers for me, but the system decides what deserves remembering. So here's my 2 cents. Offload storage, repetition, retrieval, and coordination. Keep goals, judgment, verification, and responsibility. With other words, let the calendar remember the meeting. Do not let it decide that every hour should become a meeting. You get my point? Let automation execute a stable process. Do not automate a process you still do not understand, unless your hobby is manufacturing failures at an accelerated machine speed. The skill should not be maximum offloading. It should be selective offloading and to know what is happening under the hood. If this is really a new literacy, where do you even start? Well, in my opinion, just start with the basics. Learn how proper productivity systems even work. Like the basic systems, like seriously, this may sound stupid, but I think this is really important, even if it is so basic. I mean stuff like capture, root, review, verify, own. I'll explain in a bit. Each of those are common basic productivity tips, but we need to put them into a context of AI augmented reality. First, capture. Give every loose commitment and useful idea one trusted inbox. Not 7, not 3, one inbox. A note, a voice capture, a task inbox, whatever it is, whatever you will actually use. In the future, don't use AI to capture stuff in places you don't even know exist. If you will use AI, make sure AI captures the stuff in an inbox you give it access to. For example, I gave ChatGPT access to my Todoist account, but I gave it really tight constraints and I told it exactly where to put things. It is very important to keep it on a leash. If it just throws random tasks into random sub-projects, it will just create a giant mess. Second, root. Decide what the item is. Usually we said information goes to notes, tasks go into a to-do list, and yada yada yada. You know the drill. Even if you let AI decide in the future, at least know the parts and the options. Know what happens when something gets rooted, which plugins and systems are used in the background. Like Google Calendar plugin, Dropbox plugin, Todoist plugin. Know where the stuff floats around. I currently don't use AI for my notes. Everything I need is in a good old trusted notes app. I will probably plug this into my AI helper at some point. Most likely it will just be too convenient to pass on that, but it will probably be just as context and read only. I also let automation create Todoist tasks automatically, but it is all very deterministic. It's Python and shell scripts. I use AI to build the automation, but I do not let AI go rogue on my Todoist account itself. Third, review. External systems only become trustworthy when you look at them. A short daily check or a weekly review or something already helps. If we let AI run our lives in the future, we should at least know what the hell it is running on and what it is doing and check in from time to time and not just fly blind. Fourth, verify. The more generative and or autonomous the tool, the more important this becomes. Check important claims, inspect high impact actions, make the system show its work where possible. If you have plugins, extensions and stuff for your AI assisted workflows, know them, and learn how they are integrated, and don't just fly blind and let the AI agent do everything on its own. Fifth, own. Know where your data lives. Prefer exportable formats and keep backups. Understand which automations can act without confirmation. Convenience without exit options is dependency in disguise. Always be aware how, where, and in what format your data is stored, and make sure you own your data. This may not be that important for social media shitposts and other nonsense, but this is critical if it is stuff that runs your personal life. Do these 5 things and you are learning to design a reliable life system without handing your destiny over to the AI assistants. Cognitive offloading is not about becoming less human or turning your life into a spreadsheet. It is about respecting the limits of attention and using external systems deliberately. AI assistants will become mainstream, I have no doubt. What comes next is automated, ambient, and deeply personal. Your devices will increasingly remember, filter, plan, and act around you. If you want more videos about technology, Linux, automation, and building productivity systems that serve the user instead of quietly owning them, subscribe. Your brain is not obsolete, it just needs a better job description. Shitposting is art and grind set matters. Join the botnet for the almighty algorithm, and peace out.